So in this video, I'm going to talk about the band Bush, and this band is from London, and they are, I guess I'd call them alternative rock or post-grunge. They came out in 1994, so that was like, right after the tail end of like the grunge movement. And this album is called The Art of Survival, released on October 7th, 2022. This is album number 9 in their discography. So Bush, the current lineup, it's Gavin Rossdale. He's on lead vocals. He's been with the band since the beginning. He also plays rhythm guitar, and the other members are not original members. Chris Traynor on lead guitar, Corey Britson on bass, and Nick Hughes on drums. The album was released on BMG Records. This is a follow-up to their last album, The Kingdom, released in 2020. That one I actually never listened to because I really didn't know it came out. I haven't really listened to this band since Razorblade Suitcase. I think I have that CD back there. So my first impression, a lot heavier than I expected. Let me say that this was a band that, I used to like some of their songs like Swallowed and Glycerin, but it was a band I never really liked. I also never liked the name. Like, they're called Bush. I always thought that was weird. I always thought of it like the President Bush, who was president from around in the late 80s. And I just didn't like the name. I didn't really like this band that much, but there were only a couple songs that I liked. But when I started listening to this album, I mean, the first song was like wow, this is different. I don't remember this band sounding like this. And so let's talk about it. It's a lot heavier than I expected. And I'll go through the tracks because the first track is called Heavy's the Ocean. Starts with that thick bass sound, kind of like a slow building drums, and this heavy guitar riff. And this is a very heavy riff. It kind of reminds me of Alice in Chains. Gavin Rossdale, I've always liked his voice. I always thought he was a good vocalist. He was kind of like one of those Eddie Vedder types. When he does his vocals, he usually sings over kind of these bass riffs, so you get a lot of that. And this is just a very melodic. This song continues, and you got the slower beats and the chorus and the bridge. You do some clean guitar riffs, and the guitar solos are not very technical or fast. They're more that dreamy, atmospheric types of solos. So you're going to hear that in all the songs, and you get some isolated guitar parts. But this song, Heavy's the Ocean, it's slow, it's heavy, just a really great intro track, and that brings you right into the album. So all the other songs, they're just really good. The next song is Slow Me, kind of more alternative rock chords and more modern rock, but still has that thick bass, but very catchy song. More Than Machines, I like that one a lot because the opening riff to the song is very reminiscent of the band Korn, very nu metal. Then it goes into more industrial rock. So this one I like a lot. They do some of that 9 Inch Nails stuff on this song, and this one is just surprisingly heavy. After that, May Your Love Be Pure. This one, again, it's another slow song. In general, most of the songs are fairly slow. They do that 9 Inch Nails kind of stuff, again, with some rock riffs, some distorted grunge riffs. And this is more of an industrial song, and that's what I liked about it. It was kind of I never remember this band Bush going into an industrial sound. Maybe they did on some of their other albums because I haven't listened to them all, but I enjoyed that part of it. Then with Shark Bite, this is more of that grungy Alice in Chains style riffs in the beginning. You got those bass riffs, and it's pretty cool. It kind of has some goth feelings to it. And during the bridge, they have these breakdowns or these bridges where they play these heavy staccato style riffs, and I like that. I like the riffs with the deep string bends. After that, Human Sand. This one, they do some of those grunge riffs where they're kind of a little higher pitched, and then some more electronic stuff in this one. This one's pretty cool. This one is very enjoyable, so that one's good. Then Kiss Me I'm Dead. This one has some slow and heavy riffs, and I'm listening to this and this sounds kind of Amon Amarth. I mean, it's almost that melodic death metal, but it's really heavy stuff. Then they go in, they got the bass sound, those alternative rock guitar chords, and I really love that. They play some arpeggios at one point, and it gets a little cleaner. And the thing I like about this song is just very catchy. After that is Identity. This one, again, it's another heavy, probably maybe the heaviest song, because they have these staccato And these like riffs, they're almost like near like thrash metal. I mean, it's they're like really heavy. Then they do some isolated vocal stuff and then chugging riffs and then the electronics. But that's a heavy song. So if you like heavy stuff, Identity is a great song. Creatures of the Fire. This is when they kind of like tone it down a little bit. This is more of like a ballad, and the opening riff kind of reminds me of that like Radiohead In Rainbows type of sound. Just very melodic, really great background vocals, and more of a relaxing song. Then they get heavy again, called Judas Is A Riot. Almost like a metal riff in the beginning, thick bass sound. That thick bass, you hear that all throughout the album. So if you like bass, this is really great. They kind of sing a little faster, and then they do this breakdown where it's almost like metalcore, like really like heavy breakdown. So that one I like a lot. Gunfight, that's another great one. This one reminded me of like Ministry, those like heavy Ministry style riffs with the like industrial feel to it. This one's very catchy. Like they mentioned like never bring a gun to a or never bring a knife to a gunfight. That's like the thing they say. Very cool modern rock style guitar solo. You got some electronics, and this one's very enjoyable. And the final song, 1,000 Years. Again, you got that bass sound. Gavin Rossdale singing, maybe like a little higher level, and it's more melodic. They got some orchestral elements, so this is kind of maybe more like that, like Glycerin or Swallow, that type of song. It's just very melodic, but they continue with that like slow goth or like modern rock style, and very good song. So one of my final thoughts in this, I was surprised and impressed because I never liked this band that much. Even their early albums, I liked mostly like the singles, but this is probably the best alternative rock album of the year. I mean, it could be. The production was very good. You got that thick, distorted bass sound, the heavy guitars, the industrial style electronics. I mean, if you're a fan of that like late '90s kind of like industrial grunge type of thing, like anything from like Alice in Chains to like Ministry or any of the other bands I've been mentioning throughout, you'll definitely like this. It's the type of album that, upon my first listen, is like I enjoyed it a lot, and then like the second or third listens, it just kept getting better and better. So my score is going to be a 9 out of 10. I think Queensrÿche fans are going to be pissed off because I gave that one a 7.5, but this is a 9 out of 10, and that is all. Thanks for watching.